In the summer of 1988, I stayed with Uncle at his farm in Iceland called Fossa Tún, in English Waterfall Fields. The farm is situated just above waterfalls in a popular salmon fishing river. It is a beautiful farmstead with a 1,000-year of history. My uncle's son, my cousin that is my age, and he and I were good friends, and still are great friends. I was 16 years old in the summer of 1988 and took a so-called country bus from the capital city of Reykjavik and to the farm in the countryside. The trip took around 2.5 hours back in those days, and I stayed with them for 4 days, sleeping in spare bedroom. I was out all day with my cousin and his 2 friends, so there were 4 of us 16-years-old boys, hanging around the farm and neighboring farms. It was pretty fun. The sun was shining all the days, and we practiced driving the tractor around. The river that ran through the fields of them farm was a very popular and expensive salmon fishing river. My uncle used to also farm and develop wild salmon fish eggs in a small house by the waterfalls, and when the fish had hatched from the eggs he would let them loose in the river, to ensure that they would return to the river from the sea at a later time, as adult salmon. He wanted the river to have a lot of salmon every summer, to keep the fly fishing customers happy and coming back to fish in the river. My uncle was having trouble with some ravens that kept trying to enter into the fish egg house by the river to find food, and it was clear that the ravens has a bird nest close by and were feeding their young. This had gone on for a while at this point, and he wanted to get rid of this problem by getting rid of the raven nest from the cliffs by the waterfalls. He tasked my cousin, me, and his friends to clear out the nest. We went down by the raven nest on a Sunday afternoon and found the location of the nest. It was too high up for us to reach from the ground, but it could be reached from the cliff above, if you used a long stick. We decided to walk around to look for a stick, and eventually we found an broken old road signpost that was lying around at the farm. We then walked back to the cliff's edge, and I took the signpost and extended my arms the way to the nest and managed to push a couple of the chicks out of the nest. It was so difficult to do for long, so we switched places, and my cousin took my place with the signpost, and he pushed the rest of the 3 chicks out of the nest. We then went below the cliffs and collected the 5 chicks and showed them to our uncle. He took each of the chicks out of the bag and killed them right away by wringing their necks. Then he put them back in the bag and threw it in the trash. The raven parents later returned to the nest, and finding nothing in the nest, they spent all day and the night looking for the chicks by flying around the area and farm. Finally, they left the area in despair. Problem solved. My uncle passed away more than a decade ago. He was a good man and popular. I am still friends with my cousin and talk to him often.